95.7 The Game. We're joined by Raiders CEO Amy Trask. And Amy, first of all, our deepest sympathies on behalf of everyone here at 95.7 The Game. Thank you so much for joining us. Could you share with us how emotional the end of that game was for you on Sunday?
Tremendously. Gentlemen, let me start by thanking you for your condolences. Thank you very much for your sympathies. And for all of those of you who have reached out to us this week. Thank you very, very much. It was quite emotional, and I don't know that I can even describe it to you. I will share with you one moment from Monday, the day after the game, when I saw a few of our players in the building, and they shared with me that we only had 10 men on the field for the final play of the game. I had not realized that. I was so caught up in the emotion of the moment, I had not realized that. I was also standing at field level, and at my size, there's no opportunity whatsoever to count the number of players on the field. When you're standing at field level, you need to be a bit higher up. So I did not realize we only had 10 men on the field. And when a few of our players shared with me on Monday that we only had 10 men on the field, I looked at them and said, no, we had 11. And I guess for a moment they didn't understand what I was saying, and one of them said, no, Amy. And they told me who ran off, and they said, we only had 10. And I said, no, we had 11. And at that moment they all smiled and said, yes, we did. We had 11 men on the field.
Amy, there's so many questions that I want to ask about procedural things and all that, but you knew Al Davis in a way that other people did not. You worked with him every single day as CEO of the organization. Can you speak to the Al Davis that you knew these last couple of years?
Well, let me answer that in a couple ways. I understand that the media has a job to do. And I understand that that job entails asking questions. And that the media you do have a lot of questions about procedure and what is to come. Now is just not the time to answer those. I hope that the media with whom I work understand that this is simply not the time to answer questions of that nature. This is a time for us to honor Al Davis, to pay tribute to Al Davis, and to reflect upon what he has meant to so many people. I will tell you also that while Al Davis was alive, I had the utmost respect for his privacy. And now that he's no longer with us, I will also have the utmost respect for his privacy. So I will tell you simply that it was an absolute privilege and honor to work for him throughout the course of my career. He taught me life lessons that have guided and served me well and will continue to serve me well and guide me well. And they're life lessons that transcend football.
Raiders CEO Amy Trask, nice enough to join us here with the Rise Guys on 95.7 The Game.
Amy, looking forward to Sunday. What sort of tributes should we, the fans, look forward to seeing out there at O.co?
Well, we will begin the game with a moment of silence that will be very, very special. And I know our fans love the tailgating experience. I love that experience. It's a tremendous, tremendous part of the Raider Nation culture. But I would encourage everybody this Sunday, rather than tailgating until that very, very last minute, as our fans normally do, close up the tailgates just a bit earlier. I think you'll want to be in the stadium for that moment of silence, which will be just before the national anthem. Then throughout the game, we will have special moments, vignettes, opportunities for us to reflect upon so many special moments over the last decades, and we have something special planned for halftime.
Amy, I wonder if the players are capable, and I'm not asking you to think for them, are they capable of really understanding the depth of the loss that the league feels with Al Davis departing? It's the history, I think, that they may miss.
Oh, I think that many, many, many of our players understand exactly what Al Davis has meant, not only to the Raiders, but to the National Football League. He's a legend. He's an icon, and they know so much of that. At least that's what they're sharing with me. And, of course, he interacted with our players and touched each one of them as well.
Amy Trask with us. And, Amy, I can't imagine what you and everyone else with the Raiders is going through. I'm wondering how comforting it was for you on Sunday that first game after Mr. Davis's passing ended up being just a classic Raiders, not sure how it happened, but they just won baby game. Did that bring you some comfort?
Yeah, I don't know that comfort is the right word. It was a very, very special moment. As we exited the field, the first person that I saw was Willie Brown, and we shared a very special moment. And you could look all over the tunnel and throughout the locker room area. Every single person was processing that game in a different way. And then to arrive back at our facility and find what must have been more than 500 people lining the driveway with candles and signs, and our fans there to share that moment with us was just indescribable.
Is this maybe the high point of the Raider Nation as far as a community goes? Just the feeling you got seeing those 500-plus fans being out there? I saw some video of you actually hugging a couple of fans. Is that as tight of a community feel as you had?
Well, I don't know that I would classify something as a high point or a low point. The history of the Raiders has been dotted with many, many, many high points. I will tell you it was an indescribably special moment. We pulled into our facility on the team buses, which were coming from the airport, and we opened, I happened to be on the first bus, and I asked the driver to open the door to the bus so that as we drove in, we could interact with the players, and the players and the coaches and the staff could interact with the fans. And I know what went on our bus, and I'm told that this went on every team bus. People interacting with the fans, and when we got off our bus, Coach Jackson and I immediately went into the group of the fans, and our players followed us, and I looked around, and whether it was Jason Campbell or Stanford Rout or John Fossil, our assistant teams coach, all of our assistant coaches, our players, our trainers, our staff were in with our fans, and it was just an enormous, enormous moment. And you're right, it was a community feeling.
Amy, how does it make you feel to be part of Al Davis's rich legacy of groundbreaking hires as the first female CEO of a football team in the NFL?
It's an honor. Al Davis had a 5-decade legacy of providing opportunities, of diversity, of inclusiveness. I will tell you that when the National Football League and other organizations throughout the country enacted rules, there's rules now about diversity, we would all internally just share a smile, share a look, because as I was fond of saying, we didn't need no stinking rules. I'll also reflect one more reflection on Sunday night when we looked back. I looked around at the fans and the players and the coaches and the staff and the manner in which we were all mingling, and I thought to myself, I don't know another organization in sports where there would be such an interaction. Other organizations, there'd be that yellow rope between the fans and the organization. There would be security between the fans and the organization. We were simply the Raider family on Sunday night, and it didn't matter whether you were the quarterback or the head coach or the fan that sat on the sideline or in the third deck or in the end zone. You were a Raider.
Amy Trask, Raiders CEO. And Amy, as I told you, you're in for what it's worth, you're in our thoughts and prayers. We know that Sunday will be a game and a day that no Raider fan will ever forget. We will look forward to it. And we thank you very much for sharing some of your emotions with us right now. Thank you, Amy. We appreciate it very much.
Thank you very much for your thoughts and for everything, gentlemen.
All right. Thanks, Amy.
Amy Trask at 710 on 95.7, The Game.